Hey guys, here in New Mexico Home Deals. It's a double whammy kind of day. I just shot a little video on what I'm doing today, but I was inspired really quick. And a little side note, I got this weird little fog thing going on. It's because I got a new tempered glass protector on my phone, and it's messing up the camera a little bit. But in a few days, I'll fix that for you guys. I recently had a friend talking about how she's trying to get into an apartment, and they're kind of requiring 2, if not 3 times the amount of income. Your income has to be twice the amount of rent. And I started talking to her about, well, what are your options for buying? Can you do it? What's your credit like? Have you thought about it? And so I just thought of it now that I'm driving, and I wanted to make a little video of it. If you really are facing that kind of situation where to rent, you need to prove that you're making 3 times the amount of the fees in your income, you should possibly consider buying your own either condominium or house, or even a mobile home or anything, because the idea is if you can prove that you're making that much income, you might as well own, because you're paying a monthly installment into your future. You're building equity. Equity is kind of like what you are worth on paper. It sounds kind of terrible, but it's just the way things are. Once you get into the game of house ownership, you are always in it. You always have this equity that can be transferred around. So the best way to think about it is, I'm buying in to this game that I'm going to be playing, kind of like Monopoly. And I get into this, and everything I put into my home, then at a later date when I decide to sell or invest in a new home, I have equity and I can use it in a future down payment. The simplest way, and I think this is an easy way for me, the way I started to understand it when I started getting into this, is we'll go at a very simple term. Is I pay a monthly installment toward my mortgage and my escrow, and a percentage of the principal, and that principal is my payment into the home. That is the part that I've paid off. So my home now, that much is worth this, and it's not owned by the bank, that's owned by me. So at a later date, let's just say you own the same home for, 5 to 7, sometimes 10 years. It's kind of like the national average. Every 10 years, someone will buy a new home. So in that time frame, you've paid off a large chunk of your home, and that is your equity. That is the worth. So the principal amount, you can then, when you're selling and you turn around and buy a new home, you can use that principal, that equity, and put it toward your next down payment in your home. So you don't necessarily have to come up with a huge down payment again. You don't have to go through the same startup things. Now, always putting some cash down will always help your case, but you have that much more that can transfer into your next home, and it would lower your mortgage payments then, and you'd have that much of that home paid off in the very beginning. Now, that's a very base, very simple explanation. There's a lot of different options. It can get very complex, but that is the simplest way to think about it. So if you're ever concerned with, oh man, my rent's so high, I have to prove this, think about owning, because I have helped a friend own a house who has rented for 20 some years. He's now owning a house. His mortgage is actually cheaper than he's ever had rent. He used to always do like a 2-bedroom house for rent, but now he has a 3-bedroom with a 1-car garage with a huge backyard, and his payments are significantly lower than it was when he was renting, and he is owning his own house. He is paying extra to build more principal, build more equity. So use this time. If it is hard to get a rental, talk to me. You don't have to, but get some information. Have a better understanding about buying and selling, and invest into your future. And I haven't heard anybody yet, I mean, I know there's cases, don't get me wrong, but I haven't heard anyone yet that regrets buying into a home and starting their equity. It gets your future started correctly. I think I wish I would have done it much sooner myself. I did it when I was in my 30s. So I encourage you guys to think about it. Give me a call if you have any questions, 505-615-8619. Again, I'm here for you. I'm your real estate guy. Call me. It's Yuri. Bye.